101 days of Watcher of Realms, guys, and we are just getting started. Come here and let me tell you why I love this game so much. How I fell in love with this game, the good side of it, the bad things about it, everything I've experienced so far in this 101 days of playing Watcher of Realms. But not only that, guys, not only that, but also representing none other than the One Piece Guild. That's right. Because I am literally him, right? I'm literally him. Real. But enough shenanigans, let's get right into our hero collection. And as we can see here, bunch of legendaries in this 101 days. And then this is the first big major point that I have to tell you, a big positive for Watcher of Realms, is in terms of hero collecting, the free-to-play friendliness. Because the first 2 months I played this game, I was free to play, and after that I got the content creator rewards, and therefore I got some more diamonds. The first 2 months I was free to play, and I got a bunch of legendaries. I got so many legendaries. I know a bunch of free-to-play players have also a bunch of legendaries. And this is mainly due to the fact that you get so many summons, as you can see here. You get so many summons a week. It's actually really nice. Like here, 77. I saved 77 summons in about a week, bit more than a week, and that's a lot. And sure, these rates aren't the highest. Like, the rates aren't the highest, but the amount of summons you get is quite high, and I really like that. Cause usually the only times you get that many summons in a gacha game is when the gacha is built on having dupes of a legendary, right? For example, AFK Arena has that, or Tower of Fantasy has that, where you only really get the max out of a character by having dupes, by having their awakenings right here, right? While here in Watcher of Realms, or also in Genshin Impact, for example, in games like these, it's mainly about getting that one character, and then you get their kit, and the dupes are just some bonuses, right? The dupes are some bonuses to get some more out of it, but the main kit you already have at A0. And this is what I really like about this game, is because first of all, you don't have to really rely on A6 or A5 here on a character. You don't have to do that, right? Which is also a lot more rewarding when you get a legendary. You're like, damn, nice. Instead of when I played AFK Arena, I got a nice unit. I was like, yeah, 5 more to go. Woo! You know? So this concept alone is a lot more interesting to pull for. And also in Genshin Impact, for example, and when I played Raid Shadow Legends as well, you got a lot less pulls and therefore a lot less legendaries in a short amount of time. And here you still get quite a good amount of legendaries. I mean, of course, I don't know exactly how it is nowadays in Raid Shadow Legends, because I played at 2019, pretty much in the early stages of Raid. And usually in gacha games, in the early stages of a game, they're not that generous, and after time they get more generous with pulls and events and stuff to keep the player base on the game, hooked on the game. It's just a strategy. But here they already have quite a generous system here. And yeah, I think like getting a legendary every week, every 2 weeks, like it just feels great. It feels refreshing. You always have some new hero to build, some new character that you can try out. Keeps your account fresh, keeps the game fresh. And there we also have our first negative point, though. We also have our first negative point. It's a major one. It's a major one. And it also is about the summonings. And this point is a bit of a scam. And it's something interesting I can tell you guys that you probably didn't know. So these rates here, right? These mean like 7.88% chance of getting one of these epics, right? But out of these 7.88% chance, it's not the same amount of chance to get a Komodo as, for example, a Greed. So the better epics mostly are way rarer than the other ones, which is simply not transparent. Like, and why are you saying this? Oh, this is conspiracy theory, this and that. No, it's not. Fastidious, if you don't know him, I will put his link in the description. He's also an amazing content creator. He did a poll. He did list up thousands of polls from his community to find out the rates of these different epics, and it proved that these rates are not transparent. They're not all the same, and is just not honest. It's just not honest for Moonton to do this, and I think they're in the talks of changing stuff, but I'm honestly a bit confused if they're even allowed to do this, because I know Moonton is like a Chinese company, right? And in China, you have to put these rates. This is the interesting fact I wanted to tell you guys. In China, through the Chinese law, you have to put in these rates into these gacha games, because if you don't put in the rates, it counts as gambling, which would be then forbidden. And this is why these rates are in all these gacha games. And before China made this law, actually, guys, so we actually profited from this. Before they made this law, gacha games didn't have any of these rates. Also, like I played gacha from 2014, One Piece Treasure Cruise. They didn't have any rates in there. Then I think 2015, 16, this law came in that they have to show the rates. And then they put in the rates in all the gachas from there on, because they don't want to miss out on the Chinese market, right? But here, they're not really transparent, so I'm not sure if this game is allowed in China, or is this a loophole in this law that you don't have to put in the number, the percentage number for each of these units, but just for a 4-star and a 5-star. And then you can vary these percentages. Maybe that's a loophole. And this is just something I was thinking of, like, is this game getting played in China? Or they I mean, it should, right? It should be played, because this game should be available in China, right? Like, it's such a huge market. So if it's played there, is it that they're just not listening to the law, which I can't really imagine, because it's quite strict there? Or is it really that it's a loophole in this law that the Chinese government took, and this way they don't have to show the rates of all of them? But it's getting adjusted, I'm sure of it. They're in the talks of it. With the devs, content creators are in talks, everyone's in talk about it. It's just not 100% honest from the developers, but there's a big positive to the developers that I want to mention in the end. So stay tuned about that, because I think it's really important about that, the one positive. Back to the heroes. As you can see, like I said, I have many legendaries, and even as a free-to-play you get many. Like, I had 2 legendaries for the first 3 weeks, which were Comet and Azor. But my main problem was I didn't have any healer, which is why I leveled up Camille to level 50, huh? The strongest Camille enjoyer right here, guys. I'm the strongest Camille right here. Level 50 Camille. Because I didn't get one healer until I got Leia. Imagine that. Until I got a legendary lord, I didn't have a healer. Ever since then, I didn't get another legendary lord, but just some fun fact. So I had to use Camille for a long time, which made me struggle. I had to fuse Lightlock, which is awesome. You can fuse from day one for a healer. And Comet, luckily though, like other free-to-play players, got a lot more legendaries as far as I remember at the beginning. But I had Comet, who is the best unit in progression overall. So I was able to just steamroll through content. And of course, there are also in this game, just like in other games, some trash legendary units like Cratch, or Azor is underwhelming as well. Shamir is underwhelming, or some trash epics. A lot of people are thinking, oh, these guys need a rework, these guys need buffs and stuff. Harsh reality is just that they won't. They simply won't, because every gacha will have their bad units to divert the loot pool. They pretty much need some negative units. It in the end just results for more profit for them. I mean, sure, we don't like it, but we just have to understand that it's just more profitable to have some of the legendaries be not as strong as others, instead of every legendary be extremely potent, right? So yeah, there's that. But yeah, like I said, it's really free-to-play friendly, what I like. Like, as a free-to-play, I didn't have any trouble. Like, the progression system, the way you progress in early game is really well done with the storyline, like that guides you what you have to do when you have to do it, and you smoothly get through it. I listen to many people. Sure, every now and then you get stuck for a bit, but you don't get stuck long. You can progress as a free-to-play, which is really nice. Then though, in terms of free-to-play, I think when you get later into the game, it doesn't get as free-to-play friendly as the early progression, because of the privilege card right here. The privilege card is $5 a month, and it's really broken. It's really good. It's really good, as you can see. Like, you get so much extra gear, so much extra drops overall, that if you don't have it, you will fall behind by a lot in the end game. Which, but what I think, at first I was like, I don't like it because it's a free-to-play game and it shouldn't be like that. But I have to say, once you reach the point where the privilege card really matters, you're pretty much invested into the game, and then you realize, okay, should I get it, should I not? Like, you can really decide, right? While I remember when I played Raid Shadow Legends, in the early stages it wasn't really free-to-play friendly. Like I said, I don't know how it is now, but when I played Raid Shadow Legends, like, they threw all their packs at your screen all the time from day one, and you really needed to be either super lucky or just spend money to get some of the good units, which isn't the case here. And I think the privilege card, yeah, it is a bit of a, I'm a bit split, you know, I'm a bit split on it. Like I said, on one hand, you're already invested into the game. On the other hand, you're really gonna fall behind if you don't have it as a free-to-play. But it's a sprint, not a marathon. So yeah, so that is it about the free-to-play friendliness. But I also have one more point about the units and everything, and that is, look at this design, guys. Look at how clean. I wanted to show you guys. Now it's lagging. How clean these designs are. This is a gacha game, guys. Especially Sinus. Look at his face. How clean the features are and everything. It is so well done. The graphics, everything. It is so well done. Wow, wowee. Ay. And this is the main point why I got into this game, is because look at this character. You know, Zilla2 is one of my favorite designs. Awesome demon, right? And also Cerberus, one of my favorite designs. They're so well done. And then you have also really interesting kits. Like, you don't have really boring concepts that you see everywhere. Like Cerberus, you play to die, basically. Like, you play to die. See, upon death generates a ground effect area underneath, dealing 120% AoE damage per second for 12 seconds. You basically deploy, and he kills himself. And the way you want to play Cerberus is to deploy him just so he dies and makes AoE damage. I think it's ridiculous. I think it's funny. I just love his design. It's so unique. It's my favorite kit of all. Even though he might not be as strong as a Comet or a Vierna, it's just hilarious. I just love love playing around with cheesy stuff like that, right? And yeah, in terms of the gameplay, if we take a look here, we can just go for another run real quick. Like, the gameplay is really really well done. I really like it, because at first I was like, Tower of Defense game, I don't like it. I never played Arc Knights. I'm not really of a Tower of Defense guy at all. Like, Tower of Defense. I played Tower of Defense games when I was a child on internet websites. So You know, that's how I felt about it. So at the first week I wasn't really into it. I mainly played it because it looked nice. Then after some time I realized, cause it is a tower of defense game, it is its biggest strength. It is the biggest strength of this game, cause in these turn-based gachas, in my experience, there isn't really that much theory crafting. Like, you have your turn, basically it's all set up, you don't really theory craft that much. While here, for this run, for example, when I first cleared 319, I was hours in front of my phone. I remember it was on my phone. I was hours in front of my phone trying to get it done 3-star for the other run. I was just hours there trying and trying. First place this unit first, then should I place this one unit maybe on a different tile? Should I place Tauriel first? Should I place Satrum first? And so on. And which ultimate do I have to use now? Do I have to stall this ultimate so I can hit this one later as well with this ultimate? And there's so much theory crafting that goes into this game, which is amazing. It is just amazing. And also here in Gear 2, there's so many things you can do, so many different strategies you can use, which I really like. Especially because, like I said, the tower of defense game, you have these ground units, you have these tile ranged units. You have to think, should I place this unit first? Should I place this unit first? Should I place this unit here? Should I change this unit for another unit? And you have really a lot of options, especially in the mid game. I really want to consider this in the mid game, because when it comes to the late game, in some of the content, okay, I didn't gear my Vierna properly. In some of the content in the end game, it is really dependent on certain heroes. For example, Gear 321, or just Gear 3 overall in the end game, is 10 times easier if you have a, let me pull her up real quick, a Hatsut. If you have a Hatsut, it is so much easier to beat Gear 3 than if you don't have her. Like, the gear requirements are so much lower. Same is for Gear 1. It's also really dependent on certain units. And also in the end game, there isn't that much that many variations. Like, everyone uses a Dolores. If you don't have a Dolores, you're kinda scuffed. And if we take a look at the guild boss, for example, you will be able to see, let's skip this trailer real quick, you will be able to see that the top 100 players of the guild boss, they pretty much all use the same 15 heroes. They all cycle through the same heroes. Like, there's a Satrum, here's a Silas, here's a Satrum, here's a Silas, there's a Zillitu, there's a Zillitu, here's a Zillitu, Dolores, right? Hollow, either Hollow or Eloin is getting used as the healer most of the time. It's just the same units over and over again. And of course, especially in a thing like the guild boss, will always be a certain meta established and a certain team comp that will be shining over others. But about this, I'm confident for the future, simply because it is a fresh game, right? It is a fresh game. They have bunch of balancing to do, they have bunch of things on their list that they want to do, and there are also a bunch of new legendary heroes that are gonna come to the game, that are gonna divert the loot pool, that are gonna give you more options, more different team comps, and make people have more options in terms of the theory crafting, in terms of the for example, Gear 3 Allure is gonna come out for the right side instead of just Hatsut. So yeah, the units in the end game should be a bit more flexible, but I think we will get there. And we're gonna go now into stage 21 again, to fail it again, simply to show something, and that is something that I love that they did. I really, if they didn't do this, I don't know if I would still play this game, honestly. I think it's the most important aspect, basically, because you need so many attempts. Like I said, I was hours trying Gear 3, same for Gear 2 back then. It was hours of theory crafting, testing and everything. And you don't lose any any energy. You don't lose any energy when you lose a battle. If you fail, you don't lose any energy. You don't lose for failing, which I really like. I really like that. You don't lose any stamina, which enables you to theory craft as much as you want, right? And at the same part where you don't lose anything is when you swap gear around. If you swap gear around, you don't lose anything. Like tech, I don't lose anything. I don't lose anything at all, right? I don't lose any gold. I don't have to pay any gold to swap gear and everything, which I really like. I think it's really a stupid mechanics in all of these gachas. To have you pay to swap gear around, I hate it. I hate it. I can't say it otherwise. I really dislike it. So to swap gear around, I really like. I think it would be a lot easier if you could save a set and then swap the whole set at once, because especially you won't have all the units geared, so you will always have to swap around gear from character to character depending on the content you do. So having just a set saved and then be able to put it on the next character would be a lot easier, but I'm not sure if they're gonna ever implement that, simply because then it would building every single hero make less viable, right? It would be less viable to build every single hero because it would be so easy to swap gear around. You wouldn't be too lazy to do it all the time. You wouldn't be annoyed of it. We would just a few clicks and you have the gear on another unit. Therefore you would have to farm less gear, and therefore you would probably play the game for less, not as long, because you won't have to build that many units. But that's just a thought of mine of why they might not want to make you save it as a set and be able to swap it around as a set, just to urge you to build every single character, to urge you to get more gear, and play the game for longer, right? And in terms of the arena, new season started, so I'm not champion, don't overlord, don't hate on me, guys. But in terms of arena, it's really meta reliant. I think it's not that interactive. I don't like it that much. But the positive thing is they have changed a lot already on arena, and they're willing to change a lot more on it. What I would really love is like a system like in Raid Shadow Legends, where you can ban champions and then pick champions in an order. I think that's amazing. I really love that. But we'll see if this is possible with Watcher of Realms as well. They still have a long way to go, and they really listen to the community. We had issues about the arena, they instantly addressed them. They changed some of the arena around. It still isn't that good in my opinion, like it still can get a lot better, but they are willing to listen. That's the most important point for me, in my opinion. The most important and the biggest positive for this game overall isn't the gameplay, it isn't the character designs, it isn't the theory crafting or whatsoever, the legendaries you can pull whatsoever. It is really the devs listening to the community. They really listen, and they don't just listen, they act upon what the community is, what the community feedback is. Like community said, oh, Oleg is such a strong unit, he has a low drop chance, we kind of need him, this and that. Oh, Void Rift is really hard, this and that, we can't beat it. What did they do? They did put in an entire new Void Rift difficulty level, so you have more options to choose from. What else did they do? They did give everyone a free Oleg if you clear until a certain part of Void Rift. So they really listen to the community, they are willing to improve, and so far in the current state of the game, it's already heading into the right direction. I love the game, I really love it, and I will play for another 101 days for sure. And let me know what you guys think, and if you may start playing this game, or if you are already playing. Other than that, I'm Ronaldo, and I'm out. Peace.